say congratulations on the Golden Globe nominations.
Thank you very much.
Well deserved. I saw the film on Friday.
Oh, excellent.
So how did you come to the idea of writing a movie about Dick Cheney?
You know, I really enjoyed my experience with The Big Short, and I really enjoyed the premise that there are things that are changing our world that we're not always seeing or fully acknowledging. Sometimes we kind of see them.
Right.
And I had the flu, and I was at home just bumming around for 2 weeks, and I had some Dick Cheney book on my shelf that I started reading, and I was like, holy moly. I knew the guy had outsized influence as a VP, but I didn't know this, and I just kept reading and reading. And I was like, oh my God, I think this quiet, monosyllabic guy changed world history. And so then to check my own work, I just kept reading, and I got articles and interviews. And then eventually one day I called my producers, Kevin Messick, Robin Woolley, and I just said, I think we're doing a Dick Cheney movie.
The tone of the film, which I think you did an amazing balance of.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's very funny, but it does get into some really dramatic stuff in there. I feel like one of the things I want to ask you is how were you able to make sure you were going in the right direction with the tone, especially because the film starts off with this very, I think the first title card to me is this tells me the movie.
Yeah.
It's how did you decide, what's too far, or am I going in the right direction in that? How'd you feel about that?
There's a little bit of just kind of steering into the void with that, because what we do know is that we're living in times that have shattered tone, right?
Right.
We know that the types of comedies that I did way back when, like Anchorman and Step Brothers, they're not around anymore. And we just finished that TV show, Succession, which is really dark, but also really funny. And so we trusted that. I sort of believe we're in a post-genre period. I really do. And you look at the movie Get Out, which I think is one of the most strikingly original, brilliant films I've seen in the last 10 years. And so our belief in this movie was let it be whatever it needs to be, and that audiences can handle it. Something can be horribly tragic, tear-inducing tragic, and something can be funny, or it can split the structure, and audiences can handle it. And I think with just the saturation of media we have now with streaming and YouTube and all of that, audiences have gotten really sharp. So in that sense, we kind of just acted like tone, it's a balancing act, don't get me wrong. We're not going to just haphazardly do it, but we just sort of steered into the blackness in that case.
I see what you're saying, 'cause especially the film even plays with your expectations of what you think a biopic is. There's that title credits in the middle that killed.
Yeah.
It just killed. Is that something you knew, I want to subvert what you think? This is not just a biopic. Is that something you were trying to do when you were writing it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just a biopic, because here's a guy who doesn't want a biopic made about his life. He would have loved it if those fake credits were actually the end of the movie. He wanted us to go away the whole time.
Right.
And so I just let myself have the freedom in writing it. I knew I didn't want it to be a dusty old traditional movie. I knew that Cheney's story is much sharper, much more clever than that, much more layered. So I just gave myself permission in writing it. If I felt something, I gave it a try. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. Some of it we had to cut, some of it came out of the script. But it's interesting how, the beauty of making a feature film is you could spend months and months kind of reforging it, and what ended up staying in felt natural for an audience.